everybody. My name is Aminette Burgueño, and welcome to today's training. Marie was headed to a spiritual gathering to hear a guest speaker talk on the power of positivity. She was so excited because she'd followed this teacher for a while and really wanted to hear her speak. It was a low-key event, and she was really excited to attend. After the talk, everyone would eat together potluck style with the guest speaker. The guests were spiritual and put a fair amount of time into prepping their dishes. Marie was no exception to this. She spent all day crafting her perfect, healthy potluck dish. She intentionally managed her vibrational state when making her dish, and she poured her healing energy and love into it. She was a beautiful person inside and out, and had taken a lot of care towards her appearance. She looked like a goddess that day. Normally, she was a pretty positive person and was mindful of her thoughts and emotions, as this was a part of her belief system. As she stepped through the door for the event, it dawned on her that the dish she had spent all day crafting for the potluck was left behind. Disappointment was evident once she realized this, but as the night unfolded, she was just really pissed off at herself that she forgot. Throughout the evening, there was a mounting internal emotional war within her. You could see her body tense up as everyone ate from their plates. Her emotions would bubble up to the surface, and she would reactively push them back down with positivity or by being in a neutral emotional state. This went on for at least an hour, and she diligently worked to be neutral or positive. Exhausted, she left early, with a cheery smile on her face. Here's what we're going to cover today. The sneaky way being positive can sabotage your happiness, why it's unrealistic to be positive all the time, and what to do instead, what to do to create long-lasting, genuine change for a happier life. Allow me to formally introduce myself. As I mentioned, my name is Aminette Burgueño. I'm a master hypnotist and spiritual teacher. I've done well over 1,500 deep-level hypnosis sessions, and I specialize in age regression with a focus on trauma. I've worked with every issue imaginable in the hypnosis sessions I've conducted, including emotional, verbal, sexual, and physical abuse. And I've worked extensively with spiritual issues, higher self connections, and past life regressions. As a highly sensitive and empathic person, I enjoy helping HSPs and empaths abandon the traumas of their past and gain, perhaps for the first time, genuine self-acceptance and a certainty that their gifts aren't a curse, but an asset they can share with the world. I'm someone who overcame the deep sadness of my past and learned how to laugh and smile again, but it wasn't an easy process for me. I had suffered repetitive and severe sexual, physical, verbal, and sadistic ritual abuse as a child. My father committed suicide when I was young, and I had one trauma after another. Honestly, it's a miracle I'm even alive right now. Heartache, doubt, anxiety, and pain were ingrained deep within me, like hair to a brush. But I made it through those challenging times in my life, and my intention is to help you on your healing journey to live a happier, more fulfilling life. Are you wearing a positivity mask? Do you feel like you have to be positive to get through negative energy or situations? Have you ever felt frustrated, ashamed, or worthless when you don't feel like you can be positive or look at things from a neutral perspective? Positivity can be a slippery slope, even though it can help you feel better and more in control in the short term. And it often gets conflated with manifesting and the law of attraction, which creates more confusion and problems. This is because in the spiritual community, it's taught that you need to be positive. But could it be that that's an erroneous teaching? In his book, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill says that you have absolute control over the material that reaches your subconscious mind through the 5 senses. This is one of the ways people in the spiritual community arrive at the conclusion that you're supposed to control your thoughts. But his advice is short-sighted and inadvertently hurts people. I go deeper into the mind in my comprehensive crash course, where you'll discover why this simply isn't true. I'll share how you can get access to this in a bit. You may think that it's very important to be positive or to maintain a positive stance about life and your problems. You focus on positive thoughts, being grateful, and you find the lesson in everything you experience. Or maybe you do acknowledge negativity, but it's only to flip it around to be positive again. You work diligently on yourself, but it's within the confines of maintaining a positive attitude, emotions, and thoughts. It's likely that you want to keep your vibration high and be loving and filled with light to manifest a better life. You may say to yourself or others, just stay positive. Look on the bright side. Everything happens for a reason. What's the lesson to learn? Or it was the soul's plan to have that experience. And if you aren't focused on being positive or surrounding yourself with positive people or situations, you may feel frustrated, guilty, or worthless when those familiar negative emotions bubble up to the surface. Then you blame or shame yourself because that gives you back some form of control. If you do that, it means that you can do something about it, which is to be more positive and have a high vibe. And the cycle continues over and over again, and you can wind up feeling utterly exhausted or even depressed. Here's something to consider. As you know, life isn't necessarily positive. It has both positive and negative experiences in it. No matter who you are, no matter how good of a person you are, no matter how spiritual you are, and no matter how high your vibe is. That's unavoidable, but there's value in growth in both positive and negative experiences. Now, you may be further along down the line and you don't try to assign meaning to any of your experiences. You may not have much of a reaction either way because you intentionally try to remain neutral in your perspectives about what you're experiencing. But when you experience life, especially hardship, you will assign meaning to what you've experienced, good, bad, or neutral, at the subconscious level. That's your mind doing its job to keep you functioning in the world and to keep you safe. It's perfectly normal, and it isn't something that should be eradicated. An overt example of this is when a parent loses a child. There's certainly meaning that will be assigned to that experience, as there should be. Or a woman who's been trying to conceive after several IVF treatments without success. These are just some examples of how our minds will likely assign meaning to our experiences. And again, this is done within the subconscious mind, even if we are consciously trying to see it differently and control our thoughts. Certainly, whitewashing over intense emotional experiences like this with positivity or a general perspective will be short-lived. But even when you take a neutral mental approach to benign experiences, you may lose an opportunity for personal growth because it's likely you're still denying and pushing your feelings down, even though it's to a lesser degree. The reason people jump to positivity is because they've adopted an erroneous belief that that's what you're supposed to do. They don't yet have the tools or skill set to help themselves, or if they do, they can benefit from deepening that skill set. When you think positively, you're using your conscious mind, which is the most limited part of your mind. It's surface level thinking. And because of this, you will have to keep doing this over and over again. But when you learn to work with your subconscious mind, where your negative thoughts are coming from, then you don't always need to think positively. Your thoughts become more balanced and you can relax. As I mentioned before, I've created an in-depth training on the conscious and subconscious mind, and in a bit I'll share how you can access it. How do you start creating genuine, long-lasting change within yourself so you don't always have to be positive or go neutral with your perspective. Recognize when you're using being positive or adopting a neutral perspective as a coping mechanism. It may be that positive thinking was all you could do with what life had dealt you, or it may be that you feel led to be positive no matter what. This coping mechanism can become so deeply ingrained within your subconscious mind that it becomes a knee-jerk reaction, and you may not even be aware you're doing it. You may be thinking that you're just naturally a positive person. I get that because that's my default setting. In a case like this, you'll need to investigate whether you're using positivity as a coping mechanism, or if you're just being genuinely positive. A red flag for you is if you're focused on changing your thoughts to positive ones for the sake of being positive. When you acknowledge your negative thoughts and emotions and learn how to process them, it allows for deeper insights to come forward so you can genuinely have a balanced perspective about what you've experienced. Keep in mind, you didn't get the handbook on how to be human, so try to be kind to yourself. It's not likely that you've been taught how to process your thoughts and emotions or how to access your subconscious mind. It's because of this that you may want to move past uncomfortable feelings quickly by minimizing them, distracting yourself from them, or adopting a neutral stance. Or if you've experienced a lot of trauma like I have, it can just feel really hard to re-experience thoughts and emotions from your past. Being positive can be a way of bypassing this, and it may even be your mind's way of protecting you from deeply held emotions that you aren't ready to process without the proper support. In any case, when you feel negative emotions and you're not in a safe place to process them, they are too intense to process, or you simply don't know how, you may double down on being even more positive to maintain control. Your negative feelings have now become evidence as to why positivity is exactly what you should be doing. But there's a middle ground to be explored, and that's where there's an opportunity for personal and spiritual growth. Moving on, it's important to talk about trauma because many negative experiences can cause trauma. Trauma is real and shouldn't be ignored or minimized by positivity. Trauma lives in your mind and body, even if you're being positive. And many people have been traumatized in one way or another, even by seemingly benign circumstances. Trauma doesn't just go away unless you process it in some way, and it stays with you even if you aren't aware of it consciously. Toxic positivity can shame a person for having negative experiences or for having been traumatized. Individuals may hear someone's story of hardship and reflexively start blaming them for it under the guise of care and concern. They may say things like, "Why did you manifest that experience?" Or, "What's your lesson?" Or, "You need to take responsibility for creating that experience," and so on. It's a way many people avoid their own emotions or other people's emotions that make them feel uncomfortable. On the flip side, you don't want to always be living in your negative emotions and past, but you want to do the required work to cleanse your excess emotions and heal your past, to bring you to a balanced internal place where you feel safe and secure. This is what allows your thoughts to naturally be more neutral. It's like there's two sides of the coin. One side is negative and the other is positive. And then there is the edge of the coin. It's a place of authentic neutrality, and it will allow you to navigate life's challenges more effectively, feel more inspired, and take intuitive actions to live a more meaningful life. So how do you land on the edge of the coin? The first step is to stop trying to be positive all the time. It's not natural, and it can even hurt you. Instead, take that same dedicated energy and effort to learn how to work with your thoughts and emotions held within your subconscious mind and body. This may require additional support, and you may need to build a new skill set. Here's what may hold you back: believing the lie that you need to be positive, falling back into the knee-jerk pattern of being positive when you feel your emotions or have a negative experience, not applying all the effort and energy you were using to be positive towards learning how to genuinely work with your thoughts and emotions, or not deepening your skill set if you already have a foundation. If you make these changes, you will feel like a different person, and you'll be able to relax internally because you'll no longer have to micromanage being positive anymore. You'll naturally be more positive and take inspired action for a better life. So here's what we've covered today. The sneaky way being positive can sabotage your happiness, why it's unrealistic to be positive all the time and what to do instead, what to do to create long-lasting, genuine change for a happier life. You don't have to be positive to be spiritual. When you embrace your humanity in its entirety, it's only then that you're the most spiritual. It allows your divine nature to flow through you, instructing you through inspiration, so you can take aligned actions to live a fulfilling life. And it all starts with a balanced approach. Would you like to take your insights to the next level and overcome your challenges? I've created a comprehensive masterclass called Without Limits, and it's for ambitious, highly sensitive, and empathic women. In this free training, you'll discover how your mind really works, and you'll discover how to turn your subconscious mind into a high-performing manifesting machine. And I'll cover the #1 tool that helps HSPs and empaths the most to help you overcome your challenges, gain control of your abilities, and reach your goals fast. Plus, I'll share the secret to real manifesting and how I can help you through the Real Manifesting program for lasting change and more happiness. To get access, go to www.mindyourmanifesting.com/free training. It's been a pleasure connecting with you today. I want to leave you with this message that you can be happier, your life can be better, and that your true and better self is ready to emerge. I look forward to helping you, so head over to www.mindyourmanifesting.com/free training now.